Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the audience, are in control. You guys make the show happen. You are the content directors. I am forced to watch, read, whatever you want me to read. Sometimes I get a little bit of action. Like today, I've got a show for you guys today. We have a lot's going on. A lot is happening this afternoon, this morning, whatever point of time it is for you. We've already got things going on today. I have a salty rant for you guys. I am pissed off about something. You're going to get a little rant out of me. I don't know how long it's going to go, but you're going to get a free rant. It is Warhammer Wednesday. So we've got our Warhammer queued up, thanks to Kel. And we also have interesting things going on. They dropped a Superman trailer right before the show. So if you guys want me to react to the Superman trailer, you know the game, you know the rules. $5 for an Adam rant. You're getting one for free today. $10 to ask me any question, pop culture related, and I will go down the rabbit hole as we discuss it. $15, use an article, or the ones I put up on the screen, or one you are sitting on, perhaps you want me to look at. $20 to make me watch anything YouTube friendly. $30, and I will do a live review of an episode of anything, be it an episode of television or a movie. You got to give me a couple days to get that done. As we proved the other day, I followed through with pretty good time. We did RRR, and you got my take on that on Monday. And so we are ready to have some fun, ready to have a good time. And you guys provide it. Let's be honest. This is your show. It's your show, and we want you to be entertained with what we do around here. Therefore, that's why I put it in your hands. I put it in your hands, and whether I suffer or not is up to you. Anyway, so them's the rules of the game. Hail the goddess. How you doing? He's one of my mods. Hail Diz the Jizz. How are you? Hail anybody else coming on in right now, getting ready for your day or taking a break from your day. It's still morning in some places. But some places, like I hear, it's afternoon. So maybe you're taking a break, and I am that break, and I'm happy to have you here. We're here to entertain. Okay, so as I said, I got a rant for you guys. I'm going to let people come roll on in a little bit more before I give the rant. We'll let that come in because I want maximum. I want maximum eyes for my salt and my anger. Other than that, we got articles. Let's remember though, we have a new monthly tier donations tier going on right now. And thanks to with today's inclusion, we are at $52 going into the week of doom. The week of doom, the same week where we'll be making me do horrible, horrible things at Disney Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We're turning it into a week of doom. A week of doom. This is our current donations tiers. And I've added some stuff, as you can see. If we get to $500 on this tier in this month, during that week, there will be a live stream of tabletop gaming where we will do a Disney Star Wars tabletop session. That's right. That is right. I will have it prepared and ready to go, but it requires your help. So we need $500 to make that happen during the week of doom. At $600 in this donation tier, the chat will choose the Disney Star Wars era that we will partake of. At $700, I will control a famous NPC of that era, or famous in quotes, a Disney Star Wars character in that era. I will control NPC. At $800, despite whatever timeline difference there may be, You can force us to put in Baby Yoda Grogu as an NPC. Doesn't matter. We're going to break it wide open because at $900, you could force us to cross over with other Disney IPs. We're going to make this batshit crazy insane. And then $1,000, the chat will choose the characters that the players will have to play in that session. You guys will choose who and what they have to be, what types of class, all that stuff. So it's going to be insane. We want to make this insane and stupid, but it'll still be painful to play. So that's how we get there, guys. Then all donations, whether it be from YouTube super chats, YouTube gift memberships, or Stream Elements tips, all donations for this stream, for gaming streams, for Mellow Mondays, and for Roundtable, they all go into the kitty for this one. They are all contributing to this. Specific shows like Saturday Night Drive-In and other shows like that, which are kind of a where they are meant to be evergreen and not be influenced by outside stuff going on. They are excluded from that, but everything else in there. Yes, Joe, I know. Yes, Joe, I know. I know there is a new Superman trailer. I mentioned a couple seconds ago. If you guys want me to do a live reaction today, that's $20. If you guys want me to do a live reaction to the Superman trailer, that is $20. $20. Otherwise, I will save it for another time. That's the rules, because as we said, the rules are, as always, $5 for an Adam rant, $10 for a discussion topic of anything in pop culture, my thoughts, where the chat is also part of the discussion, $15 for an article, $20 if we watch a video, which includes a trailer, and $30 to watch and do a live review of an episode of television or a movie a couple days after the request. So that's it. There we go. Let's go over the articles. And then while you guys are thinking about articles, I am going to give you my rant, my angry, salty rant. Now, I've decided we are going to keep doing articles no matter what, because I've discovered something with the articles. Whether or not you guys have me read it, it provides an interesting 1-minute news clip, essentially, that I can always turn into shorts. So we're going to keep doing the news roundup, because I can get upwards of like 3 to 4 shorts out of that little thing. I can get 3 to 4 shorts out of that. So we're always going to keep doing that, apparently, because it gives me extra content for the channel. Now, unfortunately, guys, we have a problem. We are on the road to 4,000. And yesterday when I went to bed, I was at 3,994, only 6 away. Problem is, I woke up this morning, we lost 3 subs. We're back down to 3,991. So now we were at 6, now we're at 9. So we got to keep that train moving, guys. We got to keep spreading the good word. We got to get to 4,000. I know I gave us the month, but I think we can do it this week. I think by Roundtable, we can get 4,000 subs or more on this channel. We can do it. I believe in you. Believe in me like I believe in you. Believe in me. All right, so let's go over the articles. And if there is news in there that we've sort of covered or I plan on covering, I'll let you know. And if I see something I'm going to hold on to, I'll let you know, and we'll take it off the list. So let's get into articles. Let's get into the news as around 1 p.m. Eastern on this Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Over on Variety, box office, How to Train Your Dragon to fly $75 million in opening weekend. Okay, I might have to eat a little crow on How to Train Your Dragon, because now we could go back in time and look at receipts. They're in there on streams. I'd have to find them, but they're in there, where we read articles and read reports that they were changing the movie. They were changing the story from what the original lore source material was of the animated stuff. Apparently, that has changed. Apparently, according to reliable sources, this is now a shot-for-shot remake of the original movie, which changes my original perception and my original predictions of how well this movie was going to do. If this is a shot-for-shot remake, it will not flop. It will likely do well. Now, a $75 million opening weekend, I expected more. I honestly expected more if it is going to be positively received. But that's the thing. So it looks like I was wrong, but I was only working with the information I was given before. So hey, I can only work with the information I'm given. My predictions are only as accurate as the news and articles I'm working with. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll get more of that this weekend on Roundtable when we do our box office roundup and we hear about it. So all right, so VFX House, Weta appoints Lee Berger as business development senior producer. Weta Workshops, hey, Weta Workshops, a lot of good stuff. I hope that's a good move for them. I don't know. The Chrisleys claimed political persecution to get a Trump pardon, but records tell a different story. Okay, I don't care. These people were always sketchy to me ever since their reality show popped up on USA Network like a decade ago. These people were always freaking sketchy as hell to me, and I always thought that guy was gay and his wife was a beard. I always thought that. How Steve Jobs courted Hollywood. Sure, he's dead. Don't care. White Lotus creator Mike White and team breakdown finale's deadly pina colada scene. I don't care. Fuck that show. Sabrina Carpenter's new album, Man's Best Friend, says August 28th. All right, could somebody explain to me who this bitch is? I've seen her around for about a year now. Who the hell is this very mid-looking, no-tittied, not even nice small-assed white girl who runs around singing shit? Who the hell is this chick? Could somebody please explain this to me? I don't know. Another untalented pop idol bitch who does suggestive shit just to get attention on stage during a live performance? Who is this bitch? I don't know and I don't care. But who is she? Tired of seeing her thrown all over my social media. Lars Ulrich and the new Metallica doc, embracing streaming music fans and Star Wars meme he just sent to the band. I'm an old school Metallica fan. It's a love-hate relationship with Metallica. If you know, they could do cool shit. And they could do really bitchy shit. So, and of course, they kind of lost their mojo a long time ago. So whatever. My camera looked. Oh, I'm getting a little choppy there. What's going on? Oh, I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second here. That's not good. What are we doing? All right, stop. Oh, god damn it. Wrong buttons. Whoa. Yeah, okay, my camera was dying. That was going on. Why is it doing that constantly? Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that to me? Okay, are we good? Okay, we're back. All right, so let's get back to. Let's bring it back up. Sorry about that. Live TV, folks. You never know what's going to happen. Okay, so all right. A night in the writers' room. Listen to Wild Nights with TV's top drama comedy and limited series showrunners. Variety's top 10 producers to watch, class of 2025. Shut up. They're all whores. Each and every one of them. Let them find you how brands are creating discoverability on TikTok. Can we just can TikTok just die? Oh, again, my camera. What the hell? What the hell? Why does StreamYard suddenly hate my camera? 3 years. That shit never happened. Suddenly, the past 2 months, it hates my camera. I don't understand. Let them find you. Okay, so can we let TikTok just die already? Please, can TikTok just die? Tim Cook reveals Apple's vision for movies and TV while spending millions on blockbusters like F1 is about more than selling iPhones. Sure. Just keep spending the money. I don't care. I don't watch any of your shit. I'm an Apple product guy, but I don't care. I'm not going to watch your shit. Jack Black to receive King of Comedy Award at Nickelodeon. Oh, shut up. Give me a break. Can we stop pretending Jack Black is a revolutionary comic? Can we stop, please? Seriously, can we stop with that? Don't care. Want him to go in. Of course, Nickelodeon. What does Nickelodeon mean? Nothing. Building a band trailer. Netflix posts Love Is Blind spin on singing competition series. Yay, more reality TV singing competition. Thank you. Disney Universal filed first major studio lawsuit against AI company sue Midjourney for copyright infringement. This is theft. Okay. That actually could be pretty important. With all these people doing these latest round of AI selfie video things, yeah, be careful. Be careful. This could set precedents and you get sued. Listen, copyright is copyright. Whether you like it or not, it exists. Whether it's abused or not, sometimes it exists. And you have to know how to play the game properly. I mean, yesterday, we got copyright claim to hell for Kung Fury. Everything Kong Fury yesterday we did, copyrighted to hell. I knew it would. But it was paid for with super chats and donations. So I still got, it doesn't matter that the stream is copyright claimed and is basically not blocked, but no money's made on the regular stream itself. But that's the game you play. And as long as, you're finding a way to, like us, like you guys pay me to watch shit. If I'm going to get claimed, that's fine. Now, I don't blame Kung Fury and David Hasselhoff for copywriting me because we just watched their shit. We watched it and we reacted to it. I could fight it, but I'm not going to. What's the point? There's no point at it. Or it's not like, they are David Hasselhoff is a professional actor, singer, writer. So of course, if we watch his shit, he's gonna claim it. Kung Fury, they did a lot of stuff in there. I'm sure that was a legitimate thing they made. Claim me. I think it's a little dick, but I can accept that. Unlike other ones who just make cartoons and claim us, like that other dude who claimed us a couple weeks ago, that's bullshit. Because you're just making sketch comedy shit on YouTube. You didn't make like a full-fledged movie with actors and stuff like that and have Hasselhoff involved. But you're gonna get claimed on copyright shit. But you have to know how to play the game. All right. Pavarotti biopic planned by Vado. Okay, great. He was a great tenor. Whatever. Annecy has it bad for The Bad Guys 2 as DreamWorks Animation previews footage for the very first time. Bigger, better, better. Listen, I don't care about your freaking furry movie. Take your furry movie and throw it off a cliff. Don't care. Daredevil meets Wiccan. Charlie Cox and Joe Locke on Marvel's comebacks, body changes, and not getting limited to skinny gay twink roles. Well, skinny gay twink is in skinny gay twink roles. And there's no comeback here. Both Daredevil and Agatha failed as shows. So that's bullshit right there. Scorsese's The Saints gets second season at Fox Nation. Sure. Nepo baby Bryce Dallas Howard. I've never been shocked by flops like Argyle and Lady in Water. You can always see it coming when you make it. You're a Nepo baby. You have no talent. You're there because your daddy is Ron Howard. It's that simple. Your movies suck because you suck. Your Star Wars sucks. Your movies suck. Nobody likes you. Steven Universe, Lars of the Stars unveiled it. Oh, God. This is what was wrong with essentially the past decade of Cartoon Network, embracing this queerdo twink bullshit of Steven Universe. An abomination of a franchise. Let's move on. Hollywood Reporter. What's so funny? Comedy actor roundtable with Seth Rogen, Adam Brody, and John Mulaney. Only one guy in this picture is funny, and that's Ted Danson. And he wasn't comic funny. He was, I'm just good in TV funny. Rest of these guys, all hacks. Each and every one of them, freaking hacks, not funny. Richco versus Porco, not all spinoffs are created equal. Whatever. Best stunts of all time over 100 years of Oscars. Ugh, that would be a pain in the ass to look at. Ali Lauder on Landman Season 2 and playing out her and Billy Bob Thornton's unlikely love affair. I didn't watch Landman Season 1. I don't care about Landman. I don't care how good anybody says it is. I don't give a fuck about Landman. I will care that Ali Lauder is apparently still hot, though. Good for her. Good for her keeping it high and tight. Film. What we got here? Snow White is now streaming. Snow White is streaming. We're waiting for the article. We're waiting for the article of streaming number one on Disney Plus. We're waiting for that one. Okay, Superman trailer. Reminder, we got the Superman trailer today. If you guys want me to react to it, you know the rules. You know the rules. You want me to react to it. Andy Serkis on reimagining George Orwell's Animal Farm for a new era. Why do you have to reimagine Animal Farm? It is still relevant in its original form. Its original form is still relevant. You don't need to change it. All right, let's go over to IGN. PlayStation Plus gaming catalog for June 2025. Okay. Stranger Things star David Harbour is ready for the stories to end. How much more story is there? As we've said, Stranger Things, kind of a Walking Dead abomination type thing, if you ask me. Elden Ring Night Rain players shows bells are not thing to be trifled with by clearing the game's final boss with one. All right, cool. Have fun with it. Beat it any way, shape, or form. As long as you're not exploiting or cheating, kick the game's ass. I don't care. Resident Evil 9 lets you switch between first or third person camera. I don't play RE games, so that kind of doesn't mean anything to me. ScarJo asked to have her credit removed from Thunderbolts. I wasn't involved. Report sheds new light on Dragon Age the Veilguard's development turmoil, reveals dialogue rewrite sparked by Forspoken's failure. All right, I'm going to put a pin in that one. We're saving that for Miller Mondays, where we can yell at it, and we can yell at it. Nintendo Switch 2 closer to Xbox Series X and PS4 in terms of raw computing power, Koei Tecmo says. Wheel of Time fans desperate for a streamer to save canceled show have taken their fight to the next level. Billboards. The desperation of the fake fan stands of Wheel of Time. We're going to spend our money on billboards. It ain't going to help. Your show was canceled because it wasn't Wheel of Time and it sucked and nobody watched it. Get used to failure. We are outside that realm or era where your shit's just going to get green lighted because you checked all the DEI boxes. It will be canceled because Amazon lost money. Ha ha ha. Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum, a sizable movie, Andy Serkis says, once again, this is a bad idea. Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum is a bad idea. You're stretching a minute of lore into a 2-hour movie. Dude, this is a bad idea. I don't think it's going to do well. I really don't. I think it's going to be rejected by fans in the end. I don't care if Andy Serkis and the old team are getting back together, if Peter Jackson's team is involved. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. Leave it alone. Haunted Chocolatier will be larger than Stardew Valley, confirms developer Concerned Ape. Haunted Chocolatier. Oh, have fun with that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was dialogue like that, if referring to the Dragon Age stuff. Embracer CEO announced he will step down, saying the best is still ahead of us. F you, Embracer. You just gobbled shit up like any other corpo to try and make cheap money on IPs. Street Fighter 6 is 5 million copies sold 2 years after launch. Still a long way to go before it beats Street Fighter 5. I'm going to be honest. I think Street Fighter is a dead franchise. I'm going to be brutally honest. I think it's a dead franchise. Nobody really cares about it anymore. It's not exciting. It's not new. And they've butchered the lore over and over again from what I can tell. So nobody cares. Mind's Eye Dev says it's working around the clock to improve performance amid mixed Steam user reviews. Well, keep working, I guess. Dune Awakening finally properly out, and it's a big Steam hit. Yeah, it's a big Steam hit. People are enjoying it. It's got a lot of positivity, but we've heard some concerning things. And I guess unless things change and I suddenly have a ton of money to get a rig among other things, but I'm not going to really be able to give even close to a check on it for a year until it comes up a console. Let's get a computer beforehand. We'll have to rely on, but I know Weasel's playing it. Weasel, if you're out there, you keep us up to date on how that's going. We know Kel's taking a look at it. A couple other people I think are playing it. Yeah. Games Workshop hauls Warhammer.com offline as scalpers cause pre-order chaos. Okay. Oh, I missed one. Sony's Bend Studio hits mass layoffs in difficult moment. I wonder what's going on here, though. Hauls Warhammer.com offline as scalpers cause pre-order chaos. I guess there's something new being released. Inzoi publisher dismisses plummeting Steam concurrence, insists sales are better indicator of performance because it's a single-player game. Yeah, I could see that. Let's be honest. A lot of Steam charts, as interesting as we can use for trying to gauge the health of a game, it's not always the best because it only says Steam. It doesn't take into account console. So it's only a partial indicator, like any snapshot is for a metric. Last of Us Season 3 will be Abby's story. We already knew that. This is stuff from yesterday. But this is actually overnight, and we'll see it coming up over again. Switch 2 becomes fastest selling Nintendo hardware ever with over 3.5 million sold worldwide in just 4 days. Now, we talked about this a little bit on Roundtable, and we will talk about it this weekend. While great, that's a success, obviously. 3.5 million worldwide feels kind of small in 4 days. It's kind of small. It's kind of small. I don't know. Success, but I don't know. We'll talk about that more this weekend. We'll probably have more numbers. They're putting out official numbers now for this, I guess. All right, Kotaku. Diablo 4 had a power level your way to see. Oh, shut up. All the ways people can die in Zoya. We just heard about that. Resident Evil 9 lets you swap to first person. Heard about that. Meet Mario Kart's world's biggest bastard. Sure. Dragon Age Veilguard's ending feels like a Mass Effect mission, and now we know why. Okay, so this is good. I'm gonna actually bookmark this. I'm gonna open this in a window. I'm gonna bookmark this for later because we're gonna talk about this on Mellow Mondays because that's where we talk usually BioWare Dragon Age stuff. So we'll add that later. Mind's Eye form ex-GTA producer is a day one car wreck. Oops. We sort of saw that part. Stephen King's The Institute always read like a TV pilot. Now it's a TV series. Fuck Stephen King. He's a hack. 5 star. I don't care about Pokemon. Nintendo Switch 2 sells 3.5 million units in 4 days. Likely biggest console launch of all time. Really? 3.5 million in 5 days worldwide is the biggest. It's the biggest Nintendo. Well, that feels small to me for the entire world with 7 billion people in it. 3.5 million seems small to me. It just does. So we have there are comparable things. Okay. That it feels weird to me. It does. It feels weird to me. We'll talk about it on Sunday. Popcorn buckets. We cut 20 moving tie-in popcorn buckets we love. Why is this a thing? Why are popcorn buckets a thing? Why? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Maybe because I'm not a collectible collector. I don't know. And we're into yesterday's stuff. Okay. We're into yesterday's stuff. All right. Game Rant. I'm choosing Game Rant today for a couple reasons. Dune Awakening review. That might be something more for Mellow Mondays. Fantasy Life Eye post game. I don't even know what that is. Dragon Age Veilguard Porticos Infrared Bar. Okay, more Dragon Age stuff. Let's put this over here. I'll bookmark that for later, where it's more discussed there. Wheel of Time mega fan pays for Billboard. We already saw that. Oh boy. Death Standing FAQ. No, don't care. Mario Kart World players may be making the game harder and not even realizing it. Sure. PS Plus Premium subscribers will have 9 new games playing in June 2017. June 17th. Okay. Anything here interesting? Not really. I thought we might get some Game Rant because this is still Chill Rant CBR, same company. I thought we got to get stuff there, but we don't. All right. Check Park Place. Disney Universal suing. We saw that already. Jimmy Kimmel says there are no LA riots while city burns behind him. That man is just a caricature of himself now. This is the same guy who used to have women bouncing on trampolines and do blackface Karl Malone. Hard to believe. Tom Felton, we talked about that yesterday. Disney ABC cuts ties with Terry Moran. Somebody got fired, I guess, for saying something. Mark Ruffalo calling bullshit. Pedro Pascal wears women's clothes taken from female co-star, according to Dakota Johnson, fallen in what? Can Pedro Pascal get any worse? Can he get any worse? That man, why does he just go away? Thunderbolts predicted to flop worse than Marvel's Eternals and DC's Black Adam at global box office. Ha ha. All right, we're into yesterday's stuff. Okay, them's the articles. You guys can have some thoughts on them. Give them some time. No, go away. Wrong button. Go away. I'm going to do a rant now. Let's see if we've got anything else on the tip side. Nope, so far, just Warhammer Wednesdays. Remember, guys, the rules you see below is how it works if you want me to do stuff. But I'm going to give a rant for you guys right now. A little rant, because I'm annoyed. All right, so very simply put, if you spoil things, you're an asshole. If you spoil stuff, you're a dick, and you're not a real fan. You're somebody who just wants attention for their opinion. Now, one of the reasons I really do hate the current form of social media, the instant posting of shit on X and stuff like that, is when something happens in an IP or this or that, there is a certain sect of fandoms that must instantly talk about it, irregardless of anybody who might not have read it yet or watched it yet, who may be taking their time. And it's especially a problem in anime. In the anime fan culture, the weeb culture, there are little retarded spurg, almost said a word, figs, who, as soon as something happens, they have to post about it. They have to post about it. They have to do it. Now, if it's something constantly going on, like maybe a current anime season, my antenna is up enough that I will avoid doing doom scrolls. Because, like, oh, you know what? Shit's going on. It's premiere episodes. I'm not gonna doom scroll because these freaking little twink asshole fake fan weeb pieces of shit are going to start posting spoilers everywhere because they want to have their reaction justified by the world. So I know to dodge it, but no, today a series where it's got a season 4, an anime series season 4, got a season 4 coming up in the summer, so got a month till it starts. Apparently, some manga chapters of it just released. And of course, today, spoilers fucking everywhere. Spoilers everywhere. And this is a show that I'd rather watch as an anime than read as a manga, so I don't follow it. But no, of course, giant spoiler everywhere. Because these little goddamn assholes, these stupid, look at me, I need my opinion validated of everyone else. I need to talk about it publicly with everybody. They need to have that shit just affirmed instantly. So they're just going to talk about it, not without giving anybody a chance to either avoid it or not read it. So that's the thing. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I freaking hate spoiling assholes. So now this giant thing, which may happen in this season, has been spoiled for me. Completely spoiled. Ruined. And it's not the first time. It happens more in anime than in anything else because little spurging idiots must say, oh, look what happened here, guys. Let's talk about it. And you know what? Back in the day, this stuff was corralled and kenneled in forums. And you weren't going to get spoiled because they had a forum for it where they could talk about it. All they wanted. And people who didn't want to get spoiled just didn't go in the forum. It would say current chapters, spoilers. And if you didn't want to get spoiled, you just didn't go in there. So they could happily talk about it. That's respectful fan behavior. Knowing, hey, we're all fans of this shit. We're all fans of this. So those of us who want to talk spoilers, we're going to talk about it in our corner, and we're not going to ruin it for other fans. But if you're posting shit publicly constantly on social media, open, you're not a real fan. You're a dick. You're an asshole. You're a complete loser who doesn't respect the fandom, doesn't respect your supposed fellow fans of this shit. So F you to everybody who spoils shit. I hope you burn in the special place in hell that you're likely going to. All right, there's my rant. What are you guys talking about now? Yeah, I guess I have a misconception about consoles comparatively and how they sell. I guess I have a misconception about it. All I could say, a misconception. I guess 3.5 million is huge, comparatively so. I guess it is. And what I saw right here, No, I am not going to be on Make Me a Sandwich. It's not my show. It's Devil's show. I have not been invited on, even though I've helped double promote it, but it's not something I'm involved in. So no, I will not be on that tonight. That is not a thing I'm doing. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing that with terms of consoles, I guess I don't understand it. I guess I've never quite I never full comprehension that sales for consoles are not super spike high at launch, and that's why you got to look long term in consoles. Long term. Yeah. The PS5 is an outlier because of everything that was going on. I think the PS5 would have been the biggest one of all if we had not had the world circumstances that were involved with that. Shortages, shipping problems, everything going on there, sales, limited ability to sell it. So I PS5 would probably have had a bigger launch if not for that. I mean, it's made up for time overall. Actually, I can't make my own bread. I've never baked bread. Okay, so right now it seems we have no other super chats. Let's remind everybody. Here's the game. Let's remind everybody maybe coming in late that this is our current monthly tier right now. The Week of Doom donations tiers. 500. If we hit $500, we'll do a Disney Star Wars tabletop live stream next year during the Week of Doom. $600, the chat will choose the era. $700, I'll personally control an NPC of that era in game. At $800, even if it messes with the timeline, we will make sure Baby Yoda Grogu is an NPC in all his insufferable ways. At $900, we'll do a forced crossover with other Disney IPs because they say it's all existing in the same universe, so we might as well do it. And at $1,000, the chat will get to choose the characters for the players involved. So there you go, guys. That's our current donation tier for this next month. Everything goes towards that. Our suffering, our enjoyment, and entertainment for you guys. All right. So if nobody got anything else, that was my rant. No articles everybody's interested in. We'll go watch something cool then. Let's do Kel's Warhammer Wednesday. Kel for $20, Blood for the Blood God, Skulls for the Skull Throne, and Warhammer videos for Wednesday. Yes. And this week, we are watching, I have it here on the sun. Let's get it. Here we are. We're watching Horrible Heretics, Karn the Betrayer. More from Arbiter Ian. So let's bring that up. Let's watch something fun. And of course, in the meantime, if you guys want to queue up something horrible for me, like maybe the Superman trailer, we will do that afterwards, or something else that'll melt my brain. All right, so let's have some fun. Let's watch some Warhammer lore. Okay, let's go. No sound. I shared? Did I just? Yeah, I hit the wrong one again. I hit the wrong. I just brought up the wrong one. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Hang on. Going back to the beginning. Boomer. I know. No sound. Okay. That's the second time I've done that this week, isn't it?
On a dead world,
Okay.
in the Eye of Terror. Soon after the monumental civil war known as the Horus Heresy, two legions tried to find unity. The World Eaters Legion, desperate to find new purpose, had fought a brutal campaign against the remnants of the Emperor's children, striving to try and hold their legion together. But in the freezing night of Scalathrax, the unity they sought would be broken forever when their leader, the figurehead of their legion at that point, turned on his own brothers, and Karn 8th captain of the World Eaters, became Khan the Betrayer. I'm Arbiter Ian, and this is Horrible Heretics.
Heresy cannot be tolerated.
At first glance, Khan the Betrayer is almost a cartoonish supervillain in the world of Warhammer 40,000. One of the most vaunted champions of the Chaos Power Khorne, he leads a band of blood-maddened berserkers across the galaxy, seeking only blood and skulls for the glory of his master. But the actual story of Khan the Betrayer is something of a tragedy. His loss to the madness of Khorne, even more of a victory for Chaos, because he resisted it for so long. Khan's story, like many others from his era, begins on Terra at the start of the Great Crusade in the early 31st millennium as an inductee to the 12th Adeptus Astartes Legion, then known as the Warhounds. The Emperor had conquered Terra during the Unification Wars and, with his new Legiones Astartes, had committed his new Imperium to the Great Crusade, expeditionary fleets pushing outwards in an attempt to reunite the various strands of humanity kept separate by 5,000 years of warp storms. But while many of the other legions had been active during the latter years of the Unification Wars and the initial stages of the conquest of the solar system, the 12th Legion had been largely kept in reserve, tested in a few sporadic engagements, and then almost withdrawn from service. But when the Great Crusade finally began, the Warhounds quickly found themselves overcommitted. They were broken up into independent commands and then used as a sort of assault reserve. Elements of the 12th used to bolster frontal assaults conducted by the other legions, or serving as muscle in fleets composed mostly of Imperial Army regiments. And they quickly developed a bloody reputation from all this. They were considered a threat unleashed by the Emperor, dangerous to anyone in their path, their battles ending in bloody slaughter, and their victories, though reliable, coming at a very high price.
Man, that is pretty much setting the stage. They feel like they are perfect to fall to Khorne. I mean, if you are massacring people literally in giant swaths of bloody destruction, you're going to get the attention of the blood god. He's going to try and corrupt you. Blood for the blood god, another skull for the throne.
But to the Legion, there was nobility in this. They fought in a merciless phalanx, advancing with spear and shield slowly at a walking pace and leaving absolutely none alive. It might have been bloody and expensive and ruinous in terms of recruits, but that was their role. And they adopted it, if not enthusiastically, then with a resolve that if someone had to do it, they were fine with it being them. To maintain their numbers, a particularly wide recruitment policy was adopted, taking aspirants from all over Terra and any world they conquered and sending them to dedicated Legion training worlds to foster some sense of camaraderie and to turn them into Legionnaires. And it was this process that first scooped up the young Khan. Transported from the Germani regions of Terra to the Legion fiefdom of Bolt, Khan was trained by the Legion centurion Gruner, one of thousands of such identical neophytes. This was in the early days of the Great Crusade. Bolt was one of the oldest of the 12th Legion's fief worlds, and the training likely didn't last very long. The requirements of grist for the mill meant that the Warhounds pushed the acceptable production rate for new Astartes to the absolute limit. It was here that Khan would be introduced to the predictably nihilistic culture of the Warhounds, including the idea of the contest, a competition amongst 12th Legion recruits to reach 1,000 confirmed kills, a competition every Legionnaire of the 12th was expected to take part in, and one jokingly considered impossible given the predicted lifespan of a Warhound. From Bolt, Khan became a legionnaire and quickly rose through the ranks, fighting on battlefield after battlefield across the Great Crusade, and eventually reaching the rank of Centurion of the 8th Assault Company, assigned to the 13th Expedition, one of the largest concentrations of Warhound assets, and nicknamed the Bloody 13th. He was a well-known officer even then, with a reputation as a brutal...
I mean, it's interesting that he's at the chain axe. Not a chainsword, a chain axe. Very interesting to me.
effective close quarters fighter, like much of their legion, but it wasn't until much later, after the discovery of the 12th Legion's Primarch, Angron, that he really came into his own. The 20 Primarchs, designed to lead the Legiones Astartes, had been scattered way back in the Unification Wars, and one of the goals of the Great Crusade had been to try and rediscover where they'd gone. But it's fair to say that Angron's rediscovery by the Imperium was not one of the Emperor's best moments. Captured as a foundling on the world of Nuceria and implanted with the brutal Archaeotech implants known as the Butcher's Nails, Angron had been forced to fight as a gladiator until, eventually, he led a slave uprising that rampaged across the planet. Eventually, hopelessly outnumbered and starving, his slave army decided to sell their lives as dearly as possible in a final glorious last stand when, lo and behold, the Emperor turned up. Of course, seeing just another tyrant, the Primarch completely refused either the help of the Imperium or the command of a legion, determined to die alongside his brothers and sisters, and so, late into the Crusade, and not wishing to lose one of his remaining sons, the Emperor just teleported him against his will into orbit and left the rest of the gladiator army to be slaughtered on the planet.
Whoops.
Angron was, of course, furious, but the Emperor had little sympathy or time to spare, and so he was transported to the flagship of his new legion, the Adamant Resolve, and left there. A problem for the Warhounds to solve themselves.
Oh, jeez.
By this point in the Crusade,
I gotta say that's a bad move by the Emperor. Just yeah, I found one of my boys again, but I'm just gonna drop you in here, even though you don't want to be, and I'm gonna leave you in command of everything around there. That's some bad dad mojo right there. That's some bad dad behavior.
the Warhounds had fought a bloody path through the galaxy in the name of the Imperium for over 90 years, but they were desperate. 16 of the 20 Primarchs had already been found, their legions reforged and carving out glorious reputations, while the 12th Legion continued its punishing existence as a disposable weapon of annihilation. The return of their own Primarch finally seemed like a gift, but Angron, transported to them by the Emperor with little explanation and currently locked in what was intended to be his triumphal hall, was having none of that. The Primarch mourned the loss of his brothers and sisters and killed any of the Legion who attempted to parley with him. First, the Legion's master, Ibram Greer, and then every other Legion commander who entered the hall was beaten to death by their own Primarch, who saw them as weak servants of this tyrannical Emperor. The Legion Master and then 6 more champions and captains of the Warhounds entered the hall, never to return, until eventually it was the turn of the 8th captain. Khan was beaten almost to death by Angron, his body thrown around the hall by a Primarch enraged at these weak Warhounds' seeming lack of desire to fight him. The Warhounds might have been the brutal axe head of the Great Crusade, but like the 7 who entered before him, Khan would not lift a hand against his own Primarch. But what saved him was a shred of insight. His gladiator family, dead in the sands of Nuceria, Khan only said that he wished he could have met them. "I envy them," he said quietly. "Those ones who fought with you. I wish I'd known them. They followed you to battle. That's all any of my brothers and I ask of you, sire. The chance to fight with you as they did." That was the only thing that got through to Angron. The profession of loyalty, sure, but implicit in that statement was the idea that these Warhounds wouldn't have done what the Emperor had done, that they would have stood with Angron in the Red Sands and fought the High Riders alongside him, and that they wanted to learn all the things Angron's previous family already knew. From this point, Khan became the equerry to the Primarch in the newly renamed World Eaters, a position that combined the roles of a senior captain, counselor, and, in the case of the 12th Legion, a diplomat. For one of Angron's bloodline, Khan was unusually considered and reasonable, one of the few who could temper Angron's rages and desire for personal combat with the logistics and planning required of a large-scale war. His voice was low and soft, rarely angry, more detached and almost weary. It was a strange balance, especially after the Legion adopted the use of the Butcher's Nails, seeking to become closer to their estranged father by installing copies of the brutal Deshayan devices into their own skulls. The nails were an ancient technology from the gladiatorial pits of Nuceria that heightened aggression, giving the World Eaters an edge in close combat, but that reduced any other feeling to mere numbness over time, buzzing in the backs of the Legionnaires' skulls, eventually causing permanent pain that could only be stopped by bloodshed.
Man, this has Fall to Chaos written all over it. This Legion has Fall to Chaos written every inch of their story here, man. Damn. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner.
From then on, the Legion's story became one of slowly losing control. Khan was one of the first to adopt them, which only heightened his strange dual position as the crusade went on and the devices did more and more damage. In battle, he was ruthless, brutal and unnaturally fast, a brilliant but unstable warrior, fighting his way through the fray with a brutal chain axe called the Cutter. But off the battlefield, he was serious, contemplative, sensible, one of the least boastful and garrulous of a pretty prideful legion. Though he didn't hold the rank of first captain or lord commander, it was clear that he was, to all intents and purposes, the second in command of the 12th after Angron. The World Eaters hierarchy favoured proven reputation over rank, and his name was pretty well known amongst the other legions, partly because he was one of the few anyone else seemed comfortable dealing with. But when the heresy broke out, Angron and the 12th were quick to side with Horus, and Khan alongside them, not necessarily out of any great hatred of the Imperium, at least on most of the World Eaters' part, but out of loyalty to their Primarch, and the general apathy and resignation that characterized the Legion. They'd always been uncaring weapons, short-lived and brutal, pointed towards whatever foe they were ordered to destroy, regardless of if those orders came from Horus or the Emperor. The nails, by this point, had taken hold. Many of them just simply didn't care from where their next enemy came.
Just butcher. And if you're going to fight for chaos, you're going to get to butcher even harder.
As long as it gave them an excuse for combat. Khan fought with the Legion on Istvan III, when Horus's forces first revealed their hand, descending to the surface with Angron to wipe out loyalists who survived the virus bombing. In that battle, lost to the nails and screaming incoherently about the eightfold path, one of the first mentions of that, he fought the loyalist Garviel Loken.
I don't know what the eightfold path is. I don't know what that is.
Of the Sons of Horus, the duel cut short when Khan was run down by a Legion tank, impaled on the teeth of its dozer blade. He was horribly wounded and thought dead, but made the first of many miraculous recoveries. As the traitor forces moved through the aftermath of Isfahan, he next surfaced on Prospero, former homeworld of the Thousand Suns Legion, attempting to find a psychic cure for the degradation the nails were inflicting, before the World Eaters were assigned wholesale to the Shadow Crusade, and Khan found himself in Ultramar, fighting alongside the Wordbearers Legion against the Ultramarines. He struck up a close friendship with the Wordbearers captain Argel Tal, another victim of circumstance, even fighting alongside him in the gladiatorial circles the World Eaters used for entertainment. This was something of a rarity for Khan, who tended not to fight in the pits. For him, they were too artificial. He didn't excel within the walls of a fighting pit. To him, war was a whirl of chance and fury, with nothing to cling on to except the speed of your own reactions, the rush of aggression, and the spike of the nails. When he did fight in the pits against other captains like Sigismund of the Imperial Fists, it was almost an exercise in control. For him, it was less a duel and more a chance to try and master the implants in his head. Another gladiatorial tradition he ignored from Angron's homeworld was the suspicion of inherited weapons, when one of Angron's massive chain axes, Gorechild was damaged and discarded by the Primarch on the Ultramarines recruitment world of Armatura, Khan recovered the weapon and had his Mechanicum staff restore it for his own use,
That's a smart move. That's a smart move, dude. You know, broken weapon, powerful artifact. You know, don't toss that shit aside. You get it. You see what you can turn it into. It might not be the same as always, but if usually in kind of a lore situation, there's always some sort of master smith or master craftsman who could take that and at least turn it, use it as a foundation to make something new. So that's smart. That's smart.
By doing so, the axe had lost many of its teeth, originally made from the teeth of mica dragons from Luther McIntyre. To replace them, he liberated some extra dragon skulls from the Legion's Museum of Conquest. The newly restored axe got one of its first outings when Khan took a rare turn in the fighting pits against the Word-Bearer's chaplain Erebus, seeking vengeance for Erebus' murder of his friend Argol Tal. Erebus was a gifted duelist, but Khan bested him easily, attempting to kill him but having to settle for the chopping off of a hand when the Word-Bearer chaplain used the warp to escape. It wasn't the only use of warp magic in that campaign. Attempting to save Angron from the damage the nails were doing, the Word-Bearer's Primarch, Lorgar, dedicated Angron's soul to Khorne, and Angron became a demon prince.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
His legion damned by association. With this, they took another step down the eightfold path of chaos, though Khan and others still tried to resist. He fought on Terra during the siege of the Imperial Palace, famed as the first of his legion to reach the palace walls. He was one of the few World Eaters who managed to hold it together, denying the lure of the nails throughout most of the siege as he attempted to coordinate the World Eaters' assault. But by the end, when time had all but stopped, when the traitor forces had devolved into roaming warbands, and when Angron was banished by Sanguinius of the Blood Angels, Khan finally succumbed. He threw himself into battle outside the walls of the palace, barely aware of who he was, and tearing through loyalist soldiers and champions alike, including Janecia Kroll of the Silent Sisterhood, unaware of who he was even fighting, until eventually he was stopped by his old comrade Sigismund of the Imperial Fist Templars. His unending fury, his rampage, halted by something Khan thought was even worse, the complete void of emotion that characterized Sigismund. Again, he was left for dead, the World Eaters bearing his body away as the traitors quit the palace for the Eye of Terror. By this point, the World Eaters were in a pretty bad way. The nails had grown so all-consuming that many of them had been lost to them permanently, unable to ever snap out of their killing frenzy, restrained in chains when not in battle, and even those that did retain a semblance of control would lose themselves when they were in battle, coming to hours later with no recollection of what they did while under the spell of the implants. Voices from beyond echoed in their heads.
Whispers of the chaos.
And the first priests of Khorne had started to appear amongst their ranks. With Khan lying in a Medicae cell, dead for all intents and purposes, the Legion seemed like it would fracture into disconnected warbands any second, until the fleet came across an ancient Eldar planet hanging in space, near the entrance to the Eye of Terror, a planet currently occupied by the Emperor's children. There was argument about what to do, if the Legion should keep to their alliance with the Third, forged under Horus, or if all bets were off since the heresy had failed. But when Khan was revived during a botched assassination attempt, the Legion found new purpose. With Angron lost in the warp, Khan attempted to unify them the only way the Legion knew how.
Killing.
Through battle.
Killing.
The World Eaters fell on the Emperor's children at Scalathrax, pursuing them through its ancient frozen cities, pitting their fury against the sonic weaponry and swordsmanship of the Third Legion. But the demon world was a dangerous place. The nights became so cold, even the Legionnaires couldn't fight after dark, and this deep in the warp, the Song of Khorne was so strong that one night, known as the Night of Madness, even Khan couldn't continue to resist its call. As the light faded, and the World Eaters retreated to shelter, Khan raged at his comrades, furious with their weakness, lost to the nails. He rampaged through the city, unable to tell friend from foe, killing indiscriminately to silence the pain in his head, at one point picking up a flamer and burning his former comrades from their shelters. And so on Scalathrax, Khan, captain of the 8th Assault Company, the one who'd resisted the lure of the nails for so long, a figurehead for the whole Legion, finally became Khan the Betrayer. And the war he'd started to unify the Legion became their undoing. After Scalathrax, the Legion fell apart, devolving into competing warbands, some of them lost to the nails forever. Khan himself continued his slaughter across the Eye of Terror, and then, because time works differently there, across the subsequent millennia. A reluctant champion of Khorne, often lost to the nails and seeking only to spill blood and claim skulls for his master, uncaring of whose they are. His warband became known as the Butcher Horde, and at their head he ravaged the Imperium for 10,000 years. During the 13th Black Crusade of Abaddon the Despoiler, he fought on Cadia, and then on the planet of Amethal against the Blood Angels. At the opening of the Great Rift, he fought and killed, or maybe banished, the Imperial Saint Celestine on the planet of Sadreka. And during the Arcs of Omen campaign, he fought alongside Angron once again at Malakbile. Khan is, above all, a tragic figure. His story is one of raging against everything he's slowly turned into, all the while being resigned to his eventual fate. Taken as a child and forced into service in one of the most brutal legions, transformed into little more than a killer, he rose in the ranks and retained some sense of duty within the warrior culture of the 12th, but after their reunion with Angron and their desperate acceptance of the nails as a way to try and connect with him, the Legion started a long slide towards chaos. And Khan became not only the absolute best at that form of rage-induced bloodshed, but also the one trying his hardest to hold himself together through it. And while it could be argued that Khan's position as a brutal killer in the Warhounds wasn't his choice, ironically, the World Eaters' desire to ape their father meant that their slow slide into madness absolutely was. In the 41st millennium, Khan is still able to, at least briefly, return to his senses. After years of fighting his fate, after Scalathrax, he seems to have accepted what he is now with the same sarcastic, detached resignment that he had when he was part of the Warhounds. But those moments of lucidity are fewer and farther between. And on the battlefield, he's lost to Khorne, operating on instinct, barely aware of the friends or enemies he slaughters, the kill counter in his helmet still counting up and up and up since the training grounds of Bolt, even though the contest was over millennia ago. Thanks for watching.
That's some hardcore shit, dude. That is some hardcore stuff. And it shows you what I love most about hearing this stuff is, I mean, sometimes you can joke about chaos and I'll have fun with it, but I mean, chaos, what it does to your soul, man. And you, like I said, when we started watching this, the World Eaters, man, they were tailor made to fall to chaos from their whole breeding. Man, it shows you, and this might be heresy to say it. The Emperor, not always smart. Not always smart. A lot of this could have been avoided if he hadn't made a couple decisions there. Emperor hadn't pulled his boy up from that revolution. I just forgot his name. It's too many names at once. I haven't pulled him up. Maybe that wouldn't have happened. Would not have happened. Because without them emulating putting the nails in their head, then at that point they're just brutes. They're just hammers between a foe and an anvil. But once they started putting the nails in their heads, that's the descent. That's the fall. That's the escalation. That's the increase in feeding that which is clearly very, very Khorne-esque. So, I need more on that, Kel. I need more on that to have a good response to that. Add a new guy. But yeah, so that's fascinating. That was fascinating. And I assume that he's I would assume that Karn is a miniature that's available for most battles. You can put points in and have him be a commander in your army very easy, or very least a hero in an army if you're fielding a Khorne army. So yeah, there you go. Thank you, Kel. As always, Warhammer Wednesdays are fun. I love learning about more of this stuff, and it's really really good stuff. Not good enough for me to do Plastic Crack. No, I doubt I'm ever going to do Plastic Crack again. But it is entertaining, and we will be doing for decades. Yeah, I had a feeling, because that's the thing. As they said, as Arbiter Ian said in that video, their time doesn't exist in the Chaos Warp. It doesn't exist. So he could pop in and out anywhere at any major conflict if he's in the warp or if he's near a warp. He can go in and out. So time doesn't exist. Time does not exist. That's why you can reuse these characters over and over again as champions, heroes, stuff like that in your armies, all that kind of stuff. All right, so it appears Weasel, my PC probably cannot handle it. It probably cannot handle it. That's why, at the very least, I mean, it'll be at least a year till it comes out on console that I would be willing to give it a try. And at the same time, it would take a lot of things happening where I can afford to get a new computer or build a rig specifically for gaming. Because if when I build a secondary computer, it would be purely for gaming. That's all it would be for. I wouldn't do anything on that computer except game. That's all it would be for. It wouldn't be for business. It wouldn't be for YouTubing or anything outside of streaming a game. That's all it would be for. So that is not in the cards at the moment. But I'll be, as I said earlier, I'll be relying on you for input on how well that game is going, because Kel said he's not playing it right now, even though he was following some of the news on it. But yeah, so yeah, no, not happening right now. But what is happening right now is this week in gaming. Talk about gaming. I'm going to attempt to finish Expedition 3. Maybe not tonight, because I got to do some leveling. I spent some time last night after the stream scouring the map for other things. I'm missing like a couple small things to complete a trophy. I'm missing like 5 or 8 recordings. I know where one is. There's behind a boss that I have to beat. But I'm not going to try that till 99. So I'm kind of confused with the game. I've scoured every dungeon. I guess I've missed a few small things here and there to get a couple recordings here and there. I've unlocked every door in the manor. I finished the manor. So I've kind of wondering what's left in there. So we'll probably finish this a little later in the week once I've hit 99. That means other games are on the table this weekend. There will be some 40K gaming, not Dark Tide, but we'll be doing Space Marine 2. I completed the tutorial yesterday. I've unlocked the main part of the game. Alf will be basically shepherding me through that because he's been playing a little longer than I have. So we'll be doing some of that this weekend prior to killing bugs and stuff like that. And if I do a game stream tonight, it'll be something else. I'll leave that as a surprise. My game time decision. So that's gaming. That's what gaming looks like for the week. But as we stand now, with today's daily dive, it seems that our only entertainment requested by you guys is the Warhammer Wednesdays, which means I'm going to, unless we get a last minute thing right here, I'm going to wrap up the show. Move on with my day. I'm going to go to Costco, do some shopping, and eat some pizza. It's Costco day, where I get my one treat of the week, where I go to, have some pizza at Costco. Allow myself. I believe so, Kel. I think so. Because Alpha's on Xbox and I'm on PS4 or PS5. So, wait. Dom H just swooped in at the last second. I can hold off Superman trailer tomorrow if you guys want to do that tomorrow. I can hold off on it. We can give it a day. Unless Dom wants to do something right now. 22 minutes. Oh, it is. There it is. All right. Dom H wants the Superman trailer with a $20 tip on Stream Elements. So we're gonna do it. And oh, look, I have it ready to go. I have it. It's almost as if I hoped you guys would request it. I have it ready right here. All right, guys, let's do it. This time with audio because I'm not retarded. I'm not too retarded. Latest Superman trailer just dropped about an hour and a half ago, maybe a little bit ago. Let's check this out. I haven't watched it. I've seen bits of it that have been used for TV spots. That was one of my original. I was going to do a bit on Superman today in James Gunn based on some of that stuff, but no, we got the trailer. So let's take a look. Let's live fresh reaction to the Superman trailer. Remember, I do not have high hopes for this movie. I think this movie is going to be a massive disaster in the making. I think James Gunn does not know how to write Superman. I think it's a bloated cast. I think a lot of this cast was a miscast. I've said that since the beginning. But we'll see if this trailer can do anything to change my mind. All right, so here we go. New Superman trailer.
Superman.
All right. I mean, why with the subtitles? I don't know. I hate subtitles and everything. I speak English. I don't need subtitles, and I'm not deaf. Anyway, all right, right here, this isn't bad. Superman saving somebody. Superman saving somebody. That's good. That's good. But I don't buy David Corn's wallet. I don't buy him as Superman. I haven't bought him since the beginning. He has not sold me, and that suit looks god-awful.
The most powerful being on planet Earth. We finally meet.
Who is the chick there that's like spreading her ass?
Now, as planned, I'll destroy you.
All right. A lot of people have been saying that they would feel good about Nicholas Hoult being Lex. I'm not feeling it right there. I'm not feeling Nicholas Hoult as Lex right there at all. I'm not feeling it. Not one little bit. Right. Once again, hey, let's okay, you showed us Superman saving. Hey, I'm James Gunn. Let's show Superman getting his face planted again. Not good look. I'm tired of seeing Superman getting his ass kicked. I'm tired of it. Not tired. I'm tired of it.
And of course, that reporter
And he was struggling there. That wasn't cool. That was weird.
you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
All right, so we're 45 seconds into this 2-minute 16 trailer, which might be the last trailer we get before the movie. This may be the last one. It says new trailer, not final trailer, and this is WB. So I think if it was final trailer, we'd know it. But so far, this Lex monologue is leaving me wanting. Nicholas Hoult has like zero. I feel zero gravitas from this performance right here. And these are lines from the movie. These are lines from the movie. So far, Nicholas Hoult failing as Lex Luthor. And we see more. We saw Superman saving a woman by holding a building, but then it's more of the same shit we've seen over and over again. Superman getting his ass beat. Wrong tone. And I don't care if Lex is talking about being evil. Who raised you? I'll kill them all. It's being delivered with a monotone, with zero gravitas and zero true powerful inflection. Right now, I am getting more angry. You're losing me more and more, James Gunn. Again with the I don't want to hear the wheezing Superman again. Why is James Gunn obsessed with wheezing broken Superman? And I hate this music. I hate this music. It's terrible. Kaiju fight.
What you do to me, Luthor. Your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
This dialogue looks like it's going to be trash. If this is dialogue from the movie, this looks trash. It sounds trash. James Gunn, everybody! James Gunn! I'm gonna have Superman punch a guy and the teeth are gonna bounce off the screen. James Gunn doesn't understand. Doesn't get it. All right, this July, is it going to say James Gunn film? I'm taking bets right now. Will it say James Gunn film?
Make a move, Big Blue.
Oh, God. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner is going to be cringe as all hell. What? All right, hold on a second. What is this? That's Metamorpho. That's Crypto. What is the little green baby? And this CGI looks disgusting. This is terrible. Oh my God. What is that? Supposed to be Little John Jones, Baby John? I'm just throwing it out there. Is that Baby Martian Manhunter? I'm just throwing it out there. Is that Baby Martian Manhunter? Is that Baby John? Baby John. Is that Baby John Jones?
Buckle up.
Oh, here comes Lois. Buckle up.
They chose him. Let them die. Hey! Quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
James Gunn humor. James Gunn humor, everybody. Not funny. Let's look at that again. So, if these are robots, that's fine. If these are people, Superman's not blasting people with his heat vision. What is going on here? What's going on here? This movie looks like a narrative mess. What is going on here? Are these the monkeys that have been writing bad things on the internet about him, released into the world to fight him? That's what I want to know.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Oh, that looks terrible. The point of the right in front of your camera. Oh, this look at the flying. That's terrible. Oh, I got to say one thing. At least it didn't say a James Gunn film. At least we didn't get that. Okay. This did nothing. This did nothing to change my mind. In fact, I'm even more convinced James Gunn doesn't know what he's doing. If this is the dialogue we're going to get from this movie, this dialogue is garbage. The teeth bouncing off the camera. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's what we're doing. Yeah, chat, you're not happy either. I can see that. You guys are not happy with this. This movie's a disaster in the making. This movie cost over $400 million in the end. We broke this down on Roundtable last weekend. We broke it down where the truth is, altogether, this movie is probably between $500 and $600 million budget, which means it needs over $1 billion to break even. And this thing will tap out somewhere between $500 and $700 million total. That I believe I've said 550 to 650. That's my range. That's where it taps out because it's going to have an incredible opening weekend because people are going to show up to want to see what this is going to be. But word of mouth, I think, is going to destroy this movie. And you'll get my review. You'll get my discussions on every stream in the interval, in between all this stuff. But this is a disaster in the making. And for James Gunn to be walking around saying, hey, guys, we're getting ready for a Wonder Woman movie. Oh, don't worry. I'm setting up all this stuff for the guy who plays Mr. Terrific to come out and say today, hey, guess what? You're going to get more of me. You're going to get more of me in there. Where there's another clip in here where he's yelling at Superman about having the dog show up, about crypto. All of this looks and sounds terrible. Don't be writing checks yet for more movies because this one ain't going to cash. This movie is going to lose money. And it's going to lose money, I think, before Warner Brothers successfully splits the company and shovels it to wherever it's going to be. Wherever it lands in the new Warner Brothers split for the company, it's going to lose money. And it's going to make it look bad for James Gunn, who is front and center in all the promotion. Front and center. And Entertainment Weekly, that was part of it. Something I was going to show earlier before this came out. Entertainment Weekly, it's showing the stars, but then it shows James Gunn. He will not be able to run from this failure. I predict failure. And if I'm wrong, I will admit it when the time comes. But right now, I'm predicting failure, and I'm fine with it because we need to stop pretending that James Gunn is good at more than what he's good at. He's good at fringe, creepy, weird shit. That's an ensemble. This is not his forte, and it's going to show, and it's going to sink the DCU before it even starts. There. All right. We're done. We're done. There we go. That was my reaction. As always, I hope you guys got that money's worth out of that. And yeah, that murdered your boner. I didn't have a boner. I didn't have a boner with Rachel Brosnan, but not for this, not in this trailer. All right, unless you guys have anything else, we will then wrap up the show. We got nothing else planned. Thank you all once again for joining and making this show what it is. Without you guys, this channel would be suffering right now if not for you guys. We are making so many strides to grow the channel right now. Let's check our subscriber count. Nope, we're still at 3,991. We are 9 away from 4,000. You can help make it happen by hitting that like button, by sharing the channel. Whenever I tweet about it, share that tweet for the announcement. Share it to tell your friends, tell everybody that you're having a good time here. Come and join the fun. It's a new kind of show. It's a new kind of channel where, yes, we are railing against everything that's going on in pop culture, but at the same time, we're trying to have fun. I'm trying to make sure that we celebrate the things that we still love. Remember that there is still good out there. We just have to find it and celebrate it and have a good time while pointing out the garbage. So thank you guys. Stay tuned for more stuff. As I said, tonight, I'm going to try and get a gaming stream going tonight. Not sure what, but stay tuned for that. If you missed it, you will, of course, get that that reaction. It's going to be edited and put out right after this. So we're going to put that out. Let's see what else. Rest of the week. Tomorrow, nothing specifically planned tomorrow. Ballbusters on Friday. I don't know who our guest is. Have to check with Dermy on that. And then Saturday Night Drive-In, Sound of Music, True Art, wonderful, beautiful movie. Going to enjoy talking about that. Co-op gaming Saturday night, playing Space Marine 2, and then probably killing bugs. And then Roundtable on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Join us for everything. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next stream or video. Until then, guys, take it easy. Have a good night or day wherever you may be.